Hi guys, this is the lesson on page 390 in your math textbook from chapter 10, lesson 3 on parallel and perpendicular lines. Our first activity says to draw and label ray YX perpendicular to ray YZ, intersecting at point Y. And so the first thing we do is draw and label YX. And so I'm going to use my example here that they've given me to draw over. I'm going to label Y here and label a point here for X. Now, these have to be perpendicular and they have to intersect at point Y, and I already have Y here. So I'm going to draw a straight line straight up from this and label a point on this one with a Z. And so I have ray YX and ray YZ, and they intersect right here at point Y. So step 3, make sure ray YX and ray YZ intersect at point Y. Make sure the rays are perpendicular. So without a straight edge, you may have had a ruler to do this with, that's fine. If you didn't, as close to this as possible is fine. We want to make sure, if we want to do this, we could show that that is in fact a right angle. So how can you check if two rays are perpendicular? And one of the ways that we can do it is we could use a square corner to check if the rays are perpendicular. One of the ways that I would do that probably is by taking a sheet of paper maybe even the sheet of paper that we used yesterday when we folded it, and we could place this corner right there and see that yes, it is definitely, they're definitely perpendicular, because this is a straight line going vertically, this is a straight line going horizontally, and they meet right there at Y. So that's what it means to use a square corner. All you would need to do is fold a sheet of paper in half one way and then in half the other to make a square, and you would have that. All right, let's move on down. Name the figure you drew. And so what we drew here is we actually drew an angle ZYX. Angle ZYX. You could also say we drew angle XYZ. You could also say we drew angle Y. Remember that Y always has to be in the center. You can name an angle by the vertex, which is Y, or by any combination of the three letters, as long as the vertex is in the center. Can you classify the figure? Well, I know that angle ZYX is a right angle. So I can say angle ZYX is a right angle. Since ray YX and ray YZ are perpendicular. And perpendicular rays form right angles. Okay, so that says angle ZYX is a right angle since ray YX and ray YZ are perpendicular, and perpendicular rays form right angles. Share and show. So if you want to pause your video now and do this on your own and then check to see if you did it correctly, that would be great. You are to draw and label line segment QR that is parallel to line segment ST. And remember, think, parallel lines never intersect. Parallel line segments are parts of parallel lines. Okay, so I'm going to draw my segment QR. Remember, I've got to label my points. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to draw this as close to the same distance apart as I can and label this one ST. And those are two parallel line segments. And so I would say line segment QR is parallel to line segment ST. For numbers 2 and 3, we're going to use this figure here. It's a rectangle BCDF. Name two sides that appear to be parallel. Okay, so we've got CD and BF. You could also say that side BC also appears to be parallel with line DF. Name two sides that appear to be perpendicular. Two sides, CB and BF is one of those. You might also say CD and BC. You might also choose to say BF and FD. Any of these lines that you have one horizontal and one vertical, okay? Excellent job.